What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and this is going to be a sobering Sunday video. And I know that a lot of what I'm going to cover is going to be very, very serious, and to some extent, people may not want to hear it, but it's the truth. And one thing I will do is speak truth on this channel, because I think it's important for us to be aware of what's happening. Now, the Kazakhstan crisis, right? I've been covering that, and that might be a bigger deal than we are led to realize. And there's many factors. I'm not going to go over them. A lot of them are geopolitical. But I'm going to cover something that I think is pertinent, and that it's going to come to every country near you, because these draconian mandates and laws that are happening around the world are unbelievable. Freedoms are slowly but surely being taken away, and you have to realize that. And it's just a matter of time before this happens. Like I said, there's no turning back from everything that's happened. This is full on fledged, full steam ahead, and this is with every country in the entire world. This is worldwide. And so it's either tyranny or revolution on a global scale. Here, sirens and a curfew announcement in Kazakhstan, right? Because I believe the president has declared a shoot to kill order because of the craziness that's been occurring over there. Okay? And the residents are asked to stay at home. We know what's been happening in China, that they've locked down. No one can leave their house, and people are starving. They're trading their devices, their phones, whatever, for food. And this is what I'm talking about. At one point, money's not going to matter. Your goods are not going to matter. What's going to matter is having shelter, having food, right? And water. Everything else is not going to matter at all. And I think this is a huge year. This is a pivotal year in which, things are going to, this is just the beginning. And I hear it, I've been hearing it from economists who are contrarians to all this craziness that's happening, and they say 2022 is a pivotal year. And we already know the tsunami of financial woes that are coming, and it's just beginning. And I'll show you what I'm going to show you today is just the beginning. Okay, blackout in Berlin, heating power plant offline, 370,000 households reportedly are without electricity and heating. Hot water supply is also interrupted. I've been talking about blackouts, major blackouts, and we're seeing record numbers in during the winter right now. The Pacific Northwest. There's a town called Leavenworth, Washington, got 48 inches of snow and within 24 hours, which is record numbers for them. And the mayor had to declare a state of emergency for that town. And Washington's been getting major water levels, floods. And it just completely devastates the neighborhoods, the homes. And it's important to take note of all this. And you're seeing a lot of in Europe, the energy crisis is surreal. You're seeing it right here. What would you do if you had absolutely no electricity for weeks on end? Could you survive that? And that's why the majority of us are unprepared, right? And so it's important to one step at a time. Hey, maybe you don't have property, okay? But there's still ways you can do it. I mean, you got to take it step by step. Okay, I don't live on a property. I don't have a property. What do I do? Okay, well, first thing is make sure you have extra food stored for yourself, right? You can have some propane tanks, something like that. Do it little by little. Extra warm clothes, right? And if you don't have enough, you can start buying it little by little. Make it your goal to buy one item or one article of clothing a week or whatever the case is. Make sure you have boots, right? Things like that. Because, folks, we're going to head I'm telling you, this is the year. This year is medicine policy. And you know what I mean by medicine policy. Medicine policy equals economic policy. And that was the agenda for 2021 and 2022. I believe that EUA for these medicines end either sometime at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So whatever happens with the Supreme Court, right? Their decision is going to be handed down sometime early this year, I believe. So whatever, and I believe what's going to happen is probably going to be given to each individual state to decide. And a lot of states will enact those medicine mandates. So you got to be sure. And this is just my opinion. It's my opinion that they're going to hand the power to the states to decide whether they're going to implement medicine mandates. That's my opinion. So there's a lot of things happening. And this year for me and my family, I'm planning on I'm taking care of some things. So this is a big year for myself and my family in preparation. So I hope that you guys also make it your goal to prepare this year. Got to treat it as if it were our last, right? As if our freedom it's going to be completely stripped from us, because slowly but surely it's happening. So you have to prepare accordingly. You see the signs. Don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. This is a lady from Quebec saying January 15th they will reject any unmedicated truck driver delivering goods. On the 18th, those who are not medicated will no longer be able to buy substances, okay? In February, the unmedicated will be banned from grocery stores. Currently, 75% of hospitalizations are from those who have taken the medicine. Folks, when this starts to happen everywhere, this is like Nazi Germany, but on steroids, because this is global. When you can no longer go and buy food to sustain you and your family because you haven't received this, that's when you don't want to get to that point where you're in the situation where you haven't prepared for this, because you know this is where it's going. You know where that's going. And everyone who doesn't follow along is going to be left out of society. Left out. And whatever is left of people who aren't going along with this, this might force their hand. And they might be like, okay, for food to help feed my family, I'm going to take it. Folks, prepare ahead of time. And I'm bringing this up because we're heading into very perilous times. Very perilous times. And this is a Sobering Sunday video. And I know as much as it hurts and as much as you don't want to hear this, I'm telling you this because when it happens, you can say that you were warned, whether you decide to prepare ahead of time or not. I did my part on telling you where things are trending, because if you think about this on a logical level, in my opinion, it's tyranny or revolution. There's no turning back on what governments around the world have done. And when the truth comes out, it could be a complete revolution, right? But if these governments keep on going with the way they're going, it's going to be very tyrannical. Here we see this individual, the number one of the country, Georgia, their number one tennis player, quit the Australian Open because he had breathing difficulties. And we know that in order to enter Australia, you have to have the medicine. That's why Novak, the Serbian player, wasn't allowed, because he didn't have the medicine. They denied his exemption. But apparently they had accepted it at first, but once he arrived, they had denied it. Now, this is post by Candace Owens on how the CDC director says that the CDC will provide data on how many of the 836,000 deaths in the U.S. are linked to the virus and are from the virus, or how many are with the virus, and adds that this new variant has just been with us for a few weeks. So, Candace Owens posts, if the death registry takes a few weeks to collect, how in the world was CNN able to run a minute-by-minute death ticker when this all began? And it's the inconsistencies we see here, right? They're all lies, folks, from the beginning. How are you able to say that this amount of people are dying, give them real-time numbers, but when you're asked to provide certain numbers for something else, you say, oh, it's going to take a few weeks for us to get that information? This is a house of cards, and at some point, it's got to fall. Adam Taggart, he's on shows with Mike Maloney, I believe. He says, remember how the emergency stimulus checks and unemployment/child payments created a record increase in household savings? It's now all gone. Credit card debt has rocketed back to record high. Consumers are entering 2022 in a vulnerable financial state. And I said, this is a pivotal year. We still have this tsunami of financial economic doom coming our way. So this is just the beginning. So revolving consumer credit shot up like crazy. We see here savings 2020, boom, it's beneath this line now, beneath the personal savings trend as of now. So, folks, as this year continues and we head on to 2023, we're going to see a lot more of these things. Now listen to this. I'm sure you guys might be familiarized with this guy.
Chris Sky here. Very important message. As I warned you, they are going to do everything they can, full out Nazi style tyranny, to ensure that you take that jab, and to ensure that they can make sure that you're never gonna vote your way out of this, like I've been telling you since day one. Anyway, guess what, guys? Ontario just announced you need to show proof of vaccination to even vote. Yes, so imagine that. Imagine getting your voice heard, all you idiots that believe your vote matters anyway, when you can't even cast it unless you show that you've been jabbed.
Folks, that's not this is a very serious matter. And when you hear stuff like this, you realize the road we're headed. And this is in Canada, this is not the US. But eventually, you're seeing all these other nations, right? If you live in the US, you're seeing all these other nations implement these draconian laws. And eventually, those folks who think, we're in the land of the free, well, when this comes here, you're gonna go ahead and see how free it really is. So, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Here is this individual who's showing the stores or the grocery store and how empty it is, right? And I believe that's in Delaware. He shows just how empty the shelves are. Here is another one in Virginia. Completely empty. Here is one of the grocery stores in my area. Empty. Just empty. So this is the road that we're headed. And I think we should pay attention to our surroundings in other nations and countries, because it's going to come to the States. It's going to come to the States. It's just a matter of time. And I think it's important that we stop trying to live in this illusion and see the reality for what it really is. And I know this video is hard hitting, but it's something that needs to be said and shown. And now that we have the time to prepare ahead of time, seeing how things really are right now, it's important that we don't squander the time we have left and appreciate the freedoms and the little things we have while we still have them, and prepare, even if it's one little thing at a time. You're doing your best to prepare for the things that are coming. So without further ado, this is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.